Hi, everybody. Tony again from the Warrens Occult Museum on this day before Memorial Day. Today's the 24th of May, 2020. And I just want to take a moment to honor all the veterans out there who served their country, and also, of course, all the combat veterans who lost their lives during all the wars that America has fought. You know, Ed Warren fought in World War II from 1943 to 1946 in the United States Navy Armed Guard. And he was pretty proud of his service, and I don't blame him. He went through some harrowing times during that time when he joined September 7th, 1943 at age 17. And my dad, Theodore Spera, who's entered the Army, United States Army in 1941, and was in the United States Army Infantry, 25th Infantry Division, and fought over in the Philippines and in Guadalcanal and in Saipan and Luzon and Solomon Islands. And he was there until 1945, so 41 to 45 he was there. And he did win a Bronze Star for his efforts. But he told me that there were a lot of heroes in that war, a lot of guys. He told me one story about a guy named Big Red. Now remember, they were in their 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. Big Red, he was the bazooka guy, and he got a Dear John letter from his fiancée who was breaking up with him. And my dad told me, he said, ever since that day, he didn't care anymore. I said, what do you mean? He said, he just didn't care. He'd stand up from a foxhole with an approaching Japanese tank, and he'd stand there and he'd wait. He'd stand there with a bazooka and he'd wait until they got right up close, and then he'd let him have it. So I said, boy, he's pretty brave. And my father said, yes, he was, until he got shot in the head one time when he stood up in the foxhole with his bazooka, and they shot him right in the head and killed him instantly. Shame. A lot of men died in those wars, so they all fought so we could be here today. And, of course, we're fighting the virus now, but, you know, you wonder what we'd be if we lost those wars. I don't know if we wouldn't be the United States of America. So a shout out to all the veterans and the veterans' families, not for their service, but for their sacrifice. Of course they served, but they also sacrificed a great deal, including the family members, the wives and the parents and the sisters and brothers. But I'm here at the Warrens Museum just to talk a little bit about the paranormal realm again and the dangers of it. You know, when you watch these television shows, you get a false sense of what it's all about. To the viewer, the television shows are more like oh, that's fun to do. Let's go into a haunted location and see if we can see a ghost. That is television, ladies and gentlemen. That is television at its worst, actually, not its best. Because what it's doing is it's provoking people to go into these places where they shouldn't go. Like, you know, at night, you really shouldn't go into a graveyard. It's a sacred area. You know, I've done it, Ed has done it, but we do it for investigatory purposes. The last time I was in a graveyard was to see Ed's grave and Lorraine's grave. I don't go there for try to get entertainment. I go there only for research or to pay my respects. And so those shows that you see do not depict what a true ghost hunter is all about. A true ghost hunter, or a paranormal researcher, or psychic researcher, or ghost investigator, whatever you want to call them, they have a job to do, and that job is to help others in need. Ed used to tell me that all the time. He'd say, you know, we're here to help these people. We're not here for entertainment purposes or to be wowed by something we see like a ghost. It's exciting if you see something like that. It's also frightening because there's not much that the physical person can do about it, especially if it's demonic. You know, if you have a demonic entity in a home, you're not going to be able to get rid of it. I can tell you that right now. You, as a physical person, cannot get rid of it. You could sit there all day and command it to go away. It won't go. It'll go if it wants to, but it won't go on your command. But if you invoke God's name, Jesus Christ's name, for it to leave in God's name or in the name of Jesus Christ, then you have a chance. But you're still playing a very scary and very frightening game, and a very dangerous game with the paranormal when you do that, because if you're not experienced enough to know exactly what you're dealing with, you could run into major issues. You could take something back home with you, and you don't want to do that. You want to learn. It's like, I used to analogize this to people. If you read a book on Grey's Anatomy, for instance, medical book, Grey's Anatomy, would that make you a doctor? No. If you read a law book, would that make you a lawyer? No. If you read an art book on modern art and impressionistic art, would you be an expert at art? No. You'd know a little bit about it, but you wouldn't be an expert. You wouldn't know all the nuances. So don't think that by even watching my programs here, or by watching me and Ed and Lorraine on our TV shows or any other, don't think you're going to know everything, because we don't. We don't even know everything now. And Ed used to tell me that a lot. Don't think you know everything, because you don't. We're not meant to know everything, is what he'd say. And I believe him. We weren't meant to know everything until we pass away from this realm and go into the next realm, which, if you're good, you're going to a good place. If you're bad, you're not going to such a good place, unfortunately. So you have to know what you're doing when you go into a haunted location. Read up, yes, read up. But on-the-job training, slowly introducing yourself into a haunted location with a ghost team can get you a long way into learning. A doctor goes to medical school for 4 years, but that's not at the end of his medical training. He has to go and do internship and residency for many years. On-the-job training to learn how to really do it. A lawyer can go to law school. He can get he can pass the bar exam and be as a lawyer, but he wouldn't know what to do in a court of law. That's why he goes and joins a law firm, and he practices and learns, and they show him the ropes. Same thing in paranormal research. You have to be shown the ropes, and you have to follow correct procedures, or else it's not going to work. So these shows you watch on television, I'm not going to mention names, but most of them don't do any justice to the family. They don't do any justice to the paranormal realm as a whole, or as an organization, or as a society, or as a theme. They do more harm than good, because they're not really helping the families. Ed used to say to me all the time, we're here to help the families, and we got to gather evidence to help them. And At first I would say, well, Ed, what do you mean we got to gather evidence to help them? We have to gather photographic evidence, recordings, eyewitness accounts, all documentation, all forms of documentation, and then bring it to the proper authorities. And I'd say, well, who are the proper authorities, Ed, when we first started out? He'd say the religious organizations, the clergy, people who have the authority to command that devil to leave, to go on that command in the name of Jesus Christ, and through certain prayers that they were ordained to say. So that's how we help people, through gathering information and then getting religious clergy involved to either bless a house perhaps and bless the families, or maybe go a step further, which might be exorcising the house, exorcising the family, which is the casting out of devils and demons, if it's demonic. And we, as a group, need to know the difference in a human spirit versus a demonic. Well, I'm going to let it go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to stop, but I want to wish everybody, I don't like to say happy Memorial Day, a peaceful Memorial Day. Let's honor our fallen heroes, the ones that really are the heroes, not me, not some celebrity somewhere. I'm not a hero. No celebrity that I know of is a hero unless they fought in the war, or they're a police officer and they save somebody, or a medic or a fireman and save someone. Medical personnel, first responders, police officers, firemen, military personnel, those are the heroes, ladies and gentlemen. They are, not the singers and not the dancers and not the movie stars. They're not heroes. But what I like to say, though, is enjoy yourselves this weekend. Thanks for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate it. I didn't think it was going to be as popular as it is, but it seems to be pretty popular. I'm looking into getting a new microphone so the sound will be better. I'm getting hooked up with that soon. I think the video is okay, but I think we need better sound. So, till then, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe.